Hello, Vineyard family. Good to see you. Well, at least you're seeing me. That's the main thing. Hey, if you knew my setup here to make this video, you would laugh. I have a script up behind the camera here, and this is, I'm trying to follow it, but trying to set this up. This is not my gift set at all. Lynn can do a way better job than I can. And she's been stellar this past few weeks. So kudos to you, Lynn. I just want to give you a few updates, just a couple updates, and talk to you about Holy Week for a bit. So first of all, I hope that most of you have been able to join with us on Sundays at 10 a.m. as we have our online service. And I would encourage that simply so that you can maintain a rhythm in your life. If you're feeling what I have been feeling, it feels like there is no rhythm as of late. And it's not pleasant. We do well when we have our rhythms and those markers in our day-to-day activities. So if you can join us, that would be awesome. And now we are trying to make it so that our worship leaders can do live recordings for our Sunday services. And we're aiming for Easter Sunday, actually. Andy and Margaret Ellen Horrocks are going to be putting something together, and so you can be praying that it all comes together. Technology is wonderful if you know how to use it and figure it out. But aside from that, the first thing I want to mention to you is this coming Friday, because this week is Holy Week, but this coming Friday is Good Friday. Normally we would have a service, but we're going to offer an online service, and what it will be in the form of is Stations of the Cross. And it's going to be about a 30-minute, it's going to be an exercise you can engage in. It takes about 30 minutes going through the 14 stations. And after each reading, there will be a time for you to pause and reflect, and then it'll move on to the next station. And so we would encourage you to join in that, and just to have that time of reflecting of the death of Christ and the significance that carries. So that'll be coming through. So stay tuned for more information. We will give you a link how you can get on that and experience that. Now, we are entering what is called Holy Week, and it's that final week of Jesus' life before he faced his accusers and, of course, faced his own death. And since we are experiencing basically a forced, slower pace of life, this is a perfect time to engage in Holy Week at a slower pace. And I would encourage you to choose one of the Gospels and over the course of the week to read what's called the Passion Week, or the Passion of Christ, which is that final week in his life leading up to his death and resurrection. Choose one of the Gospels and slowly read through that over the course of the week. In Matthew, it's chapter 19. In Mark, it's chapter 10. It starts. So Matthew 19 to the end is the Passion Week. Mark 10 to the end of the Gospel is the Passion Week. Same with Luke 18 through to the end, and John 10 through to the end. And I would try to aim, if you can, so that on Thursday you arrive at the Last Supper, and then of course Friday would be the crucifixion of Christ. If you could aim for those two things. And then when you come to Saturday, now in the liturgical church, that is called Holy Saturday. And Holy Saturday is that we allow ourselves to experience what the disciples and the followers of Jesus must have felt the day after his execution, but before his resurrection. What that must have felt like, the emotions they would have felt. And to imagine yourself there in that house with the door barred, what is it you're experiencing? What is it you're feeling? And talk to God about that and allow yourself to sit with that. And I guarantee you this, if you do that, when you wake up Sunday morning, Easter, Resurrection Sunday, when you wake up, the joy that will flood in, and you also get to experience the joy the disciples must have felt, and his followers must have felt when he appeared in his resurrected form. And so I would really encourage you, because the beauty of when we go through pain and suffering, the joy we experience afterwards is almost indescribable. And so allow yourself, because there's always this desire to rush to the end, to get to the resurrection. We want that. But to experience this, slow down this week and just to experience that. Anyway, it's good to be able to talk with you. We continue to pray for you, and just stay safe, keep that social distance, and let's just pray for healing for our world, for our planet, for all humanity. Bless you guys, and we'll chat later.